We're all in the same boat right now as Google carries out its latest core update. You know that any minute, one algorithm calculation goes the wrong way and your rankings will fall faster than Jimmy Kimmel's career. Alternatively, you also know that if the slot machine flashes old cherries, you're walking away from the Google Casino with all that juicy traffic until the next core update at least. But wake up and stop kidding yourself, you're not Reddit or RedVenture. As we slowly make our way through the fog of war that is this Google update, one thing that keeps coming up is the idea that site owners need to focus on diversifying their traffic sources. There's always been people talking about this, to be fair, and it's kind of a Captain Obvious type of advice to say that having multiple high-performing traffic sources is better than just having one. I'll put this tip with just be yourself for dating or follow your passion for business advice. But over the past year, the diversify your traffic movement has become a lot louder as Google has proven itself more and more unreliable. The big ones that people are talking about are Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and building your email list. Again, superficially, all these things make sense. But how realistic is it, and is it even worth it really? I'll let you know my opinion at the end of the video, so keep watching. But luckily for you, longtime SEO analyst and commentator Ren Fishkin from SparkToro and the good people at Datos have pulled together some very interesting report about referral traffic flows that is worth your time. And here's a few highlights for you from their 3,300 words and 11 chart monster piece. We'll put the link in the description if you want to see everything. Number one, Twitter with just 20% of the number of users of Instagram refers out 3 times more traffic. Number two, YouTube and Facebook produce the same amount of referral, but Reddit is not too far behind. Number three, don't sleep on platforms like Discord, which refers more traffic than the poster child of many niche site owners, Pinterest. And number four, Google is by far the largest referral traffic source, but we'll get more into that later. This report and some of its implications could produce a video that is 30 minutes long just going through all the ideas bubbling in my head. But we don't hate our video editor Matt that much, and Jimmy from the comments wants me to get to the point, so we'll try to be succinct here. In our opinion, traffic diversity is far more nuanced than looking at which domains are sending the most traffic and focusing your effort there. As Rand says in the report, measuring referral traffic is imperfect, because traffic coming from Gmail or even Google Discovered is measured as coming from Google. So it's not just search traffic. But there are some things to consider that might give you ideas for your own business. We interviewed Ann Moss on the Authority Hacker podcast last year. You can check out the video in the link below. And she talked about her strategy to generate a lot of traffic from her site, building Facebook pages. This is a very viable strategy these days, and Facebook is great at referring out slightly older, primarily desktop browser traffic, and that's usually the most profitable type of traffic. But for many site owners, the initial investment in strategies such as buying likes and building an audience with paid Facebook traffic that may or may not convert well is scary, because you have no idea of what return you're going to get from it, and it wouldn't be surprising to see Facebook reduce the reach of pages if the tactic becomes mainstream. Still, Facebook is a big referrer of traffic, and if you can crack that nut, you'll do well. Sending out a similar volume of referral traffic is YouTube, except as anyone with a YouTube channel knows, it can be hard to convert viewers to website traffic. It's clearly not as intuitive for someone to be watching a video, seeing or hearing a URL in a video, and bouncing off to a page somewhere. Obviously, that's where description links and cards that you can pop in a corner of your videos come into their own, and if you can get this to work, it's an effective strategy to diversify your traffic. But obviously there's the challenge of video production, credibility, finding a unique twist like my sexy French accent that tends to confuse people more than seduce them. Now back to the study. In terms of search engines, Bing continues to be a massive disappointment. Even with all of the integrations from OpenAI and practically giving away ChatGPT Plus with GPT-4, Bing still has just a single-digit market share of search in the US. DuckDuckGo is actually closing in slowly on Bing, which would have to be a concern for Microsoft. Bing represents about 5% of the US search traffic, and DuckDuckGo is now at 2.49% according to SparkToro. We briefly mentioned OpenAI, and how could you write a report about anything in 2024 without mentioning ChatGPT and AI? According to the report, OpenAI accounts for about 0.32% of the search engine referral traffic. Is that a lot or a little? Who cares? The better question that isn't answered anywhere is how many search requests is ChatGPT stealing from the search engines that don't get referred to anyone. You could suspect that number is likely a lot higher than 0.32%. Ultimately though, Google is still the undefeated champion of referring traffic with about 63.41% of all referred traffic on the internet and a whopping 84.9% of all search traffic in the US. So while we can hate on them for the changes they've made over the last year, the truth is it's still, by a landslide, the most important traffic game in town. So regardless of the outcome of the large core update currently going on, you'll probably have to work with Google if you're running an online business. Because if you can crack the Google search nut, the traffic reward outstrips anything else available on the internet. But let's take a minute. I want to circle back to something a little bit more nuanced, because while this study is interesting, I think it can also lead to a distorted version of the internet that favors Google heavily. Let's talk about our business for a second, Authority Hacker. For now, we get a fair amount of blog traffic and fingers crossed it stays that way. And I can tell you that about 2% of that blog traffic becomes a subscriber. That's a pretty solid conversion rate for the industry, and that's how we make money. We sell courses to them. So for 1,000 blog visitors, we get about 20 subscribers. Now on YouTube, it's not impossible if you offer a downloadable bonus to get 2 to 4% CTR to a squeeze page that itself converts at 50% to a lead. That is if your video is engaging and people find what you're offering valuable. So to get the same 20 subscribers, I need 40 visitors from YouTube, and that is 2,000 views with a 2% CTR. So 2,000 views and 40 visitors to my website from YouTube has the same business outcome as 1,000 Google visits to us. Why? Because people consume my content on YouTube like you're doing now rather than on my website. I don't need your visit to engage you and build trust. I only need to refer traffic when I'm going for the kill, aka collecting a lead or promoting a product. But in this study, this nuance is completely absent, probably making search traffic look more valuable than it really is for businesses. The main problem with this logic is it only works if you have something to sell. If you're relying on a business model supported by ads or on your website being the middleman, you do need that heavy amount of raw referral traffic. The problem is many platforms are now severely reducing it. Which begs the question, is it really your traffic sources you need to change, or is it your business model? I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section. And one thing that should never change is you smashing that like button and subscribing, because we're deciphering the news for you every single week. If you want our full breakdown of the latest Google core update and how things are likely to change, check out this video, because so far almost everything we've predicted has proven to be true.